for joining us on The Skeptic Psychic, where we delve into ancient societies, the ghosts, the paranormal, UFOs, all looking at it from the perspective of the true believer and from the skeptic perspective. Joining me, my partner, my co-host, my sibling, Kimber Rodriguez. Myself, I am Richard Gregg. And again, let's look into being the skeptic psychic.
Hello, how you guys doing today? This is a wonderful place today. What's new, Mr. Magoo, and all that wonderful stuff. I am, of course, the Skeptic Sidekick, where we delve into the wonderful stuff of understanding the wonderful world that is just who we are. With me, as always, is my wonderful, great, powerful, and very friendly sister, Kim Rodriguez.
Powerful. How am I powerful?
You are powerful in the way of words.
Ah,
While I may stumble, stutter, and you know,
I was given the gift of words, the gift
yeah,
of gab.
yep.
That's the nickname as a kid, Chatty Cathy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's new with you this week?
Just not a very good mental health week. A
I'm
lot of
sorry to
anger
hear that.
issues.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, tonight will go well and you'll be in a great mood as we discuss an exciting topic.
Yes.
Before we get into that, what are your thoughts? Yesterday, we had a solar eclipse that I didn't get to see it, but supposedly if you were in San Antonio, they said you could see like the full ring. It
Mm.
covered pretty much. Here where I live in South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, they say that it was just a partial amount that was still uncovered. They didn't get the full ring. Um, Unfortunately, I missed it, but I've seen some really great pictures online. If you have any pictures you'd like to share in our group, Skeptic Psychic, by all means, go for it. If you're not a member yet, you can always click the hashtag. I'm sorry, not hashtag, the QR code here on the screen to join and sign up for the group. What are your thoughts about solar eclipses and what went on yesterday?
It always reminds me of the Bonnie Hart song,
Ah,
"Total Eclipse of the Heart."
yes, I think of the same thing. Have to look up the name of the singer though, because I don't think it's Bonnie Hart. I know it's Bonnie something. She's the same one who's saying "I Need a Hero." If
Yes.
anybody out there listening knows, let us know because I can't remember her name either.
She's
Um,
holding out for a hero to the end of the night.
Speaking of Total Eclipse of the Heart, did you know that that song was actually written for a musical about a vampire?
Yes.
It is actually a song about this woman falling in love with a vampire, which explains, if you've seen the video, it explains the video a little bit more. Because I know, like, the video is one of those,
What weird movie? Weird
yeah,
movie.
those weird, cinematographic art expressionism things that were real popular in the 80s. But then
Mm-hmm.
after I found out the origin of the song, I was like, okay, the video makes a whole much more sense now. I mean, she's running, through this place and, falling in love with vampires. And so,
Right.
yeah, very interesting. So,
It
this,
was. Did you know who wrote the song?
I can't remember.
It was written by Jim Steinman,
Ah,
and the
interesting.
singer was named Bonnie Tyler.
Thank you. I was thinking that, but I was like, no, is that right? So thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, Jim Steinman, who was what you would call the the words that came right out of Meatloaf's mouth. He wrote just about every song sung by Meatloaf.
I love, love, love Meatloaf. In fact, I think there's a version of Total
Yeah.
Eclipse of the Heart by Meatloaf. I'll have to
Hmm.
look for that. But I digress. We're a little off topic.
Yes.
This week's story will be told to us, as promised last week, by Richard. And So, yeah, take it away.
Alrighty, now I'm going to tell you a story about an incident that happened in a dance hall. Some say it happened in the late 60s, or others say it happened in the mid 70s. We'll name this nightclub Anonymous. And one night around, say, 11:45 on a beautiful Halloween's Eve, there is a local dance happening in one of the clubs down in the beautiful city of San Antonio, Texas. Now, as everybody is dancing to the hottest music, the door swings open and walks a man who is pristine, wonderful looking. Every woman who sees him wants to swoon. Every man that sees him wants to be him. He walks up to the prettiest woman in the place and asks her to dance. She coyly smiles and they proceed to dance for about 15, 20, 25, 2 hours it goes on to the last call, and then suddenly, as the barman calls for the last call, she looks down and sees that he has hooves. She looks up into his face, and from underneath his hat, she sees a pair of horns. She screams. He laughs and runs out the door, never to be seen again.
Interesting. I know I've heard a similar story here in the Rio Grande Valley that happened in a very small town called San Benito,
Hmm.
just north of
It
Brownsville.
is a Texas uh, I wouldn't say
Legend,
legend, tall
myth,
tale.
tall tale, either way.
Yeah,
But yeah, and the one here in San Benito, though, the guy actually had chicken legs, not hoofs. So there's a
yeah.
slight variation there.
Some
Um,
say chicken hoofs. Some say goat hoofs. Some say chicken legs. But any way you slice it, she danced with the devil on a pale moonlight.
well, they do say that the devil does take on many different forms, so
Hmm?
that could make sense. But if you would like to share a story with us, you can email it to us at info@skepticpsychic.com, and we will read it on air. Also, if you're listening on a replay of Apple Podcast or any podcast that you like, we ask that you rate and review us. And what kind of ratings do we like?
5 stars.
Yes, we do prefer five, but we'll take whatever you give us. And please, if you can, leave a review. We will
Even
also
if you
read,
say we suck, tell us why we suck.
yes, we will read that on this air as well. And let's go ahead and get into tonight's topic. What are we talking about?
We are talking about we are crossing the Great Pacific Ocean to the island uh, country known as Japan or Nippon, depending on how you want to call it. It is a kind of the, I would say, most haunted place in Japan. One of them, I should say. But it is called Himeji Castle. Is that correct?
Himeji.
Himeji.
Yes, Himeji Castle.
Yes. Architectural is not just bricks and mortar and stone, but a reflection of society that constructs it.
Yes, this castle is not just a structure of brick and mortar. It is also a tale of power, ambition, and of the evolution from feudal Japan until today.
Let's rewind to the year 1333, a time when Japan was in a state of flux, both political and culturally. Amidst this backdrop, the first iteration of what became this castle arose.
It was initiated by Akamatsu Nomura, and it began as a fort, and Originally, it was just meant, for defense for the army.
Sorry,
Sorry, lost my place. It
it's
was
probably my tonsils.
oh no, you're fine. It was a statement of power and a democratic, I'm sorry, a demarcation of territory. Also, a testament to the ruling clan's might.
Now, Akabasu's fort was built on the Himeji, sorry,
You got it, Himayama.
Himeyama Hill, strategically chosen for its elevation. This vantage point provided a panoramic view of the southern area, allowing for its early detection and any approaching threats.
The structure was initially basic, and it had local materials and, had leveraged natural barriers. Its hill's steep slope acted as a natural wall and it deterred any direct assaults onto the fort.
Now, it's fascinating how geographical features were seamlessly integrated into design. But as the political landscape evolved and the challenges of feudal warfare became more and more sophisticated, so did the need for the castle to adapt.
Indeed, the fort did undergo several expansions and renovations in the subsequent centuries. As the ruling clans changed, so did the castle, as they brought in their own version of what it should look like. This fortified the structure and expanded its boundaries and even elevated its status from being just a mere fort to the extravagant castle it is today.
Right. And but it wasn't until the early 17th century that the castle would see its most transformative phase, a renaissance that would cement its place, not commit to place its agricultural history.
Well, if you think about it, cement does commit something. So I guess that would make sense, right?
Hmm. It would.
It would. Continue on.
Continuing on, uh, while the foundations were laid in 1333, the castle's journey had just begun. With each stone added, Himeji Castle was not constructed walls and towers, but was weaving a story that would renaissance through the annals of time.
Yes, while the castle is deeply rooted in the centuries of its evolution, we do owe much of its grandeur to one pivotal figure, and this was Akira Teramusa. I'm sorry, Teramubasa.
Hmm. What can you tell me about Akita Humosa? Which we would tell you. He was a warrior, politician, and agricultural visionary. His influence on the castle is unmistakable and very profound.
He was born in 1565, and Teramubasa's life was set against a turbulent background of Japan's warring state period. Um, Demonstrating prowess both on the battlefield and in the political arena, he did quickly rise in the ranks, and he became a prominent daimyo. I apologize for my
Diamile.
yes. I apologize for some of my uh, uh, pronunciations of these words. Being Japanese, they are a little hard for my southern tongue to get out, but I will do my best. Please digress.
Daimyo.
Yes, continue on.
Continuing on. It was at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, a decisive confrontation that led the establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate that tumultuous fate is intertwined with Himeji Castle. As a reward for his loyalty and contributions, the castle was bestowed upon him.
However, when he did look upon the castle, he didn't just see it as a fortress. He envisioned it as a monumental citadel. This would be a symbol of unyielding power and architectural wonder, and it would stand through the test of time.
Investing in nearly a half a decade of his own life from 1601 to 1609, Teramusa spearheaded the castle's most significant transformation. He expanded its boundaries, incorporated innovative defense features, and enhanced its aesthetic appeal.
Yes, one of the most noteworthy additions that he made was the intricate maze like network. This is of gates and pathways. Um,
Sorry.
and it's ingeniously designed to confuse and to deter potential invaders. Again, this wasn't just about defense, it was a strategic masterpiece that reflected the cunning of the creator.
Teramusa also ensured that the castle's beauty wasn't just overshadowed by its defensive prowess. He initiated the application of pristine white plaster over exterior, earning the nomenclature the White Heron Castle. This wasn't just for aesthetic reasons. The plaster also held fire-resistant properties, merging form with function.
That's interesting.
Yes, did not know that.
So that explains why a lot of buildings are made with plaster.
Hmm.
I would think plaster would catch fire, but I guess not. I was thinking like with the chemical, but I could be wrong. Under Teramusa's guidance, the castle also saw the addition of the iconic main keep or the donjon, um, standing at 5 stories externally and housing a secret sixth floor within. Interesting. I'm all about secret hideaways and secret passageways, so that would be really awesome to check out. Um, it became known as the heart of Himeji. Its towering presence symbolized its dominance and grandeur. I would
Good
love to,
idea.
yes, I would love to check that out. I have a huge, huge obsession with hidden passageways and hidden rooms, so that would be really fun.
Throughout his tenure, Cecilio's vision was clear: to make Himeji Castle art enduring symbol of power, agricultural genius, and cultural heritage. As we delve deeper into the pages of Himeji's history, it's evident that Akira Torasua's vision wasn't just realized, it became legendary.
Legendary. Dun dun
Legendary.
dun. Yes, the detailed exploration of Turmasa, not to be confused with IKEA, which is in Switzerland or one of those. This is in Japan, Akita. And anyway, about his vision. It provides a comprehensive look at Terum, Terumu, Terumasa. Sorry again, but with the pronunciation. It does provide a comprehensive look at his vision and his influence on Himeji Castle, emphasizing his innovations, strategic brilliance, and aesthetics. It transformed the castle into an iconic masterpiece that it is now.
The cascade design's intricacies are a testament to the strategic minds of its agricultural and rulers, who ensured that it was not just aesthetically pleasing, but also a formidable bastion against threats.
One of the first thing that strikes any visitor is the sprawling complexity of Himeji. The castle's layout, at first glance, appears to be chaotic. It has numerous pathways, gates, and towers, as I explained before. But again, this is by design.
By design, they say.
Yes, chaos by design.
That is really fascinating.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm trying to get ourselves located on a few pages just to see how if anyone is watching. Uh, th- th- these significant and seamlessly convoluted pathways were throughout craftily to disorient and to lay potential invaders. These maze-like approaches would force the enemy to zigzag through multiple gates and bellies, which are hallways, all the while being exposed to defensive fire from above.
Speaking of gates, Himeji boasts a staggering number of them. Again, it was strategically placed, and it wasn't just to control access in or out of the fort, but also to act as choke points. You see, invaders would find themselves trapped between the gates, and this would make them easy targets for the castle defenders.
Hmm. I mean, beyond the gates, the walls themselves were marvels of defensive engineering. They were constructed at a steep angle, making them difficult to scale. The white plaster wasn't just for show, it was fire resistance, ensuring that the castle would just could withstand both direct as well as attempts to set it aflame.
Yes, the multiple keeps and tag. Ugh, sorry, words. The multiple keeps and towers, they're elegantly rising against the skyline. And again, they were not just agricultural feats, but served as elevated vantage points. This allowed the archers and the gunmen to have a clear shot against their approaching enemies.
Now, and then there's the ingenious incorporation of natural barriers. Himeji Castle, built atop the Himeyama Hill, used for natural elevation to its advantage. The slopes were not only challenges for armies to navigate, but also gave defenders the high ground, a crucial advantage in any type of battle.
Yes, it is also noteworthy to mention the presence of Ishi Otoshi. This is stone drop windows. These were specifically designed with openings that allowed defenders to drop stones or pour boiling oil on adversities. And this, so basically you've seen like in the old movies where you see these guys and they got these big pots and they're just pouring the oil down. These windows were created for them to easily do that. Or they could have just, grabbed a stone and went out the window and plop, dropped it on the heads.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Doot doot, off they go. See the station master pull his little handle. Beyond its reputation as an agricultural marvel, the castle itself harbors tales that send shivers up and down the spine of many who travels the halls. And even the details from the large moats surrounding the castle to the small loopholes in walls for muskets showcases the Himeji's emphasis on defense. It is silent yet powerful testament to this threat of an era and the length to which architectural wants to ensure protection.
Yes, from its magnificent towers to its winding corridors. Himeji Castle speaks of strength and grandeur, but it's interspersed within these walls whispers of another, more ethereal narrative.
Now, tell me
So,
about the central to these tales.
yes, central to these tales is a haunting love story, a story of Okiku, and it weaves love, betrayal, and tragedy. Over the centuries, her story has become linked with Himeji forever, casting a presence over the castle.
It is with these tales that her it begins instantly enough as a beautiful and diligent servant in the castle. Her grace and beauty quickly caught the attention of Asamya Tessen, a samurai of significant influence.
However, as we do delve deeper into the story, it does take a much darker turn. Okiku, unbeknownst to many, became privy to critical knowledge of the castle and their secrets. Some visitors suggest that she overheard a treacherous plot that was set up to betray the castle lord, while others focus on her being falsely accused of losing one of the family's most valuable dishes.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow. Now, the latter may seem trivial to our modern ears, but in the hierarchical and honor-bound society of feudal Japan, such an act was not taken lightly.
Regardless of the transition that was committed, or not transition, but transgression, sorry, again, words, but regardless of the transgression, the outcome does remain tragically the same. Overcome by rage, or perhaps maybe just seeking to silence her, Aoyama Tessen cast Okiku into the depths of a well, sealing her fate for all eternity.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun
And
dun!
as too many believe, Okiro's spirit remained restless, eternally bound to the castle. Her ghost is said to emerge, especially during the stillness of the night. Visitors and staff have recounted eerie occurrences associated with this tragic tale.
Yes, sightings do range from fleeting apparitions of a woman by the whale to more direct encounters. Soft, sorrowful whispers are often recounting the number 1 to 9. So you'll hear this soft whisper going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
I
9.
don't think it means that way.
Well, that's what I'm picturing. If they're saying that whispers recounting the numbers 1 to 9, I mean, obviously somebody's saying the numbers. Maybe they're counting the
It'll probably
plate.
be ich, ni, san, chi, yo, loco, ichi, achi, ku.
It could be, but maybe they're counting up the plates to see if they're all there and then one's missing. Here we go. Representing the dishes she once was accused of misplacing. These do echo through the corridor.
Some have even reported the chilling experience of a tenth whisper, followed by a heart-wrenching scream, a manifestation of the realization and despair. So it becomes ich, ni, san, chi, go, loku, ichi, achi, ku. Yes.
Sorry if that was a little loud. I covered the mic to mute it, but if it was still too loud, I'm sorry. Um, Also, beyond the auditory, there are tales of cold spots within the castle. These are usually near the well. Why would there be cold spots near a well?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I
Well,
digress. Inexplicably given the ambient temperature. Again, people, this is a drafty old castle. You're by a well. There's water in the well. To me, that would create a cooler atmosphere, but I digress. Um, Also, you get the sensation of being watched, an oppression of sadness, or you may even feel the gentle brush of unseen hands. These have been recounted by people who walk the corridors of Himeji's castle.
whether one attributes threat occurrences to the power of suggestion or genuinely believe in the supernatural, the legend of Kyo adds a layer of mystique to Himeji Castle. It serves as a poignant reminder that behind the stone walls and strategic defenses, Himeji was, and perhaps still is, a place of profound human emotion and stories.
Very true. Beyond the oral traditions, the hauntings associated with Okiku permeate the senses. It's as if her spirit is reaching out, trying to get attention and communicate her anguish. Her presence through sight, sound, and even sensations are much felt in the castle.
Yeah, you can go ahead and continue. You've already read over mine.
I'm so sorry. I
It's
think you went.
yours.
Ah,
Yes, I'm sorry, people.
my bad.
Yeah, yeah. You
Okay.
know, you know.
Um, the most prevalent reports from visitors, especially those with a keen interest in the paranormal, revolve around visual apparitions. Dimly lit corridors by the ancient walls, and especially near the infamous well, many claim to have seen the figure.
Describing her as a woman with flowing traditional garments and long flowing hair. This apparition is often seen fleeting, disappearing just before one can get closer. But it's not just her visual that's arresting. Its profound sadness that her spectral form seems to be emu- uh, emulating, making the encounter deeply poignant for those who experience it. So not only are you scared, you're also sad.
So it's like, ah, ah, sorry, bad impression of
Bad
somebody
impression.
being scared and sad.
Hmm. So,
Now, beyond this visual auditory experience, um, I'm sorry, beyond the visual, audio auditory significance. I'm sorry, everybody. Recapture, reframe. My brain is off. I heard something outside and it just really messed me up.
hmm.
Okay. Now, beyond visual, ugh, that's you saying hello. Sorry. You
Yes.
now you messed me up again.
Hmm.
Audio experiences do form a significant part of this legend. Um, again, there's the whispers and the scream that we mentioned before. Um, but when the world outside does seem to fade away when you're in this castle, visitors have reported hearing also a soft, sorrowful voice. Maybe if she did steal the plates, she felt guilty for stealing them. Maybe if she did overhear something, she felt betrayed by her love. And so there's just a very sorrowful sound that comes along with that.
Poor baby.
Yes, very sad.
So now the auditory manifestation accumulates in a heart-yearning scream, represents missing this, perhaps symbolizing her enduring torment. The sound is so visceral, so laden with emotion, but even the staunchest of skeptics find themselves rattled.
Also, aside from the sounds and the sights that you might see, the sensory experiences do take on a more intimate form. Numerous accounts speak of sudden cold spots within the castle, as we mentioned before. Um, Even on the warmest days, these chilling pockets of air defy logical explanation.
Yes. No, collectively, these sensory encounters paint a vivid picture of Wakura's haunting legacy. Whether these are more psychological responses, atmospheric peculiarities, or genuine paranormal phenomena, they etch an indelible mark on the psychic and the psyches of those who experience them, making the Himeji Castle not just a historical monument, but a living, breathing tapestry of the past.
Um, Also, for those with a heightened olfactory sense, there have been mentions of distinct, unexplainable scents. These are fragrances of reminiscent old. You can smell damp stone. Again, it's a castle. Or you may also smell the faintest hint of cherry blossoms. Some tales say that these cherry blossoms were Okiku's favorite scent, and they seemed to waft through the castle.
Yeah.
Now, as as we do delve deeper into the hauntings of Himeji and Okiku, a fundamental question is: how do those attuned to the paranormal, psychics and mediums, perceive and interpret these occurrences? Richard, our famous skeptic psychic, why don't you tell me about this?
Now, tales of haunting are widespread across cultures and regions. Their interpretations, especially those with psychic in, inclination, offer unique insights into the spiritual realm of Himeji. Historically, psychics have played a pivotal role in various cultures, often acting as bridges between the tangible world and the ethereal. These perspectives are in a haunted location like Himeji provide a blend of intuition and spiritual understanding and heighten the sensory perception.
One of the most primary beliefs held by many psychics is that the location with intense emotion and traumatic histories, such as Himeji, become imprinted with residual energy. And I know we've talked about residual hauntings in the past, as
Mhm.
it seems like it's a tape recorder playing over and over again the scene, and it is
Uh,
oblivious to the world around it.
Yep, and also saying possibly a movie projector that's on loop.
Yes.
Now, oh, excuse me, got a little bit of heartburn here.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So, as our journey through Himeji Castle continues, it is essential to bring the chasm between the ancient past and its vibrant present. Himeji, in its modern era, is not just a relic of bygone times, but an active testament to Japanese rich heritage.
Where are you at? I don't see where you're at. Did you skip ahead?
Well, I could also say that it's also worth noting that the symbolic relationship between living and the spectral, many psychics believe that the collective belief is in a haunting. The continuing retelling of the tale and the emotional reactions of visitors can reinforce and amplify the presence of spirits. In this sense, Okiri's legend and her perceived haunting might be intertwined with a cycle of mutual reinforcement.
Now, to skeptics, these
Like me,
psychic these psychic interpretations might seem abstract or even implausible. Yet, the sheer number of consistent experiences and the profound impact on those that have encountered Himeji's castle and the spectral side of the land, they do lend to weigh towards the skeptics. I'm sorry, the psychics' perspectives. Whether one views them as genuine insights or fascinating culture, they undeniably enrich the tapestry of the haunting legacy.
okay, and like I said, in the modern era, it's just not a relic of a bygone lines, but an active testament to Japanese rich heritage.
Where are you at now?
Just right underneath you. You just
Okay.
said it's haunting legacy, and I just said,
Okay. Sorry. You've skipped around a little bit, so I'm getting lost, but I'm with you now. While the walls do echo tales of yore, its gates open to a world where the past and the present coalesce. The castle, in the contemporary context, is a confluence of history, tourism, preservation, and cultural pride.
with cultural pride also comes with the being declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1993. I guess that's United Nations Extradition Society Co-op Organization.
I'm not sure, but I will look that up.
It does show has seen a resurgence in global interest. The acknowledgement wasn't just its agricultural brilliance, but also its role as a cultural and historical touchstone, offering insight into feudal Japan's intricate dynamics.
Okay, 1 second. I'm just looking up UNESCO. It says UNESCO, an agency of the United Nations established in 1945 to promote the exchange of information, ideas, and culture. In 1984, the US withdrew from this organization, but in 2003, after satisfied with certain reforms, rejoined. So basically, it's something started by the United Nations. Interesting. Um, I digress. Back to our topic. The modern era has brought with it challenges and opportunities. One of the major undertakings was the extensive restoration that took place between 2009 and 2015. Given the castle's age and the wear and tear that it went under, this restoration was not just about maintaining its aesthetic appeal, but ensuring its structural integrity.
Particularly impressive by the meticulous care with which restoration was undertaken. Modern methods were employed, but always with a reverence for the traditional techniques and minerals. It was a dance between the old and the new, ensuring Hichima's essence remained untarnished and untamed.
Yes, beyond the preservation, the castle in today's context serves as a magnet for tourists, both those who are interested in the history and those interested in the hauntings. Um, the local economy has seen a boost, with Himeji becoming a must visit for anyone who goes to Japan.
Now, impressed by the meticulous care with which the restoration was undertaken, modern methods were. The castle's management recognized its dual role as a historical site and a bustling tourist attraction, and has incorporated various amenities for visitors, guided tours, multilingual information plaques, and even augmented reality experiences provide a multifaceted exploration of the castle. Now, I like to say right there, with the augmented reality experience, sounds to me like they're kind of feeding the whatever's there.
To me, that seems like a virtual reality.
Again,
Like maybe
feeding
you
it.
can. I don't think it's feeding it. What I'm looking at with virtual reality is maybe you. I'm looking at it as how you have the virtual reality glasses, or I'm not glasses, but those things that go on your head. And I'm looking at maybe it taking you back in time to the history, like you're actually there in the history. I'm not looking at it as the hauntings bit, but kind of like taking a virtual trip back in time, which I think would actually be kind of cool.
That is kind of interesting. But yeah, there's also supposedly a bus tour in Rome, Italy, where you could actually get on the bus and the windows will close down, and you see what ancient Rome would probably look like back in the day.
That's pretty awesome. I would love to see something like that. But getting back to Meiji, the significance in the modern era does also extend the realm of education. Schools do frequently organize trips, ensuring that newer generations grasp the importance of their cultural heritage, which I think is very important. I wish we did more of that here. Um, Additionally, the castle grounds have witnessed various cultural festivals and events. This does further cement its role as a living, breathing epicenter of tradition. And that's one thing that I really, really admire about other countries, has they're so proud and so in touch with their culture that they make sure that the future generations carry on that culture and that understanding of it. And they have like certain festivals like this and certain, you know, lessons in this. And I wish we did more of that. One thing I love about here in America is we are a melting pot of cultures, and being able to share and enjoy those cultures together and remember those cultures, to me, is one thing that would makes this country great. But I digress. Let's go back and on topic. As we do reflect into Himeji Castle in the 21st century, it stands as a shining example of how historical landmarks can seamlessly integrate into modern fabric. It has become a beacon that guides us, and it reminds us of where we come from, even as it illuminates a path ahead.
Now, looking at the present narrative of Himeji Castle, questions of ownership, preservation, and publicly accessibility naturally arise. These aspects, while administrators in nature, play a crucial role in determining the castle's place in the modern world.
Yes, that is very true. It isn't just a remnant of the past, it is a living entity. And its management, preservation, and openness to the public significantly influence its continued legacy.
Yes. Now, while Higemon's Castle has seen numerous custodians over its long history, today it's a primarily protective umbrella of the Japanese government, with significant input and management from local authorities in the Hoigo Prefecture.
I don't see where you're at now.
This joint stewardship.
Hold on. Do you skip ahead again?
No, the last thing you said is that does the public significantly influence its continued legacy?
Okay, I am sorry. I apologize for those watching. The joint viewer stewardship does have its advantages. The Japanese government does recognize the castle's national and international significance, and this allocates resources for its maintenance and its preservation. Simultaneously, the local authorities, deeply connected to the castle's regional importance, do bring more intimate understanding of its nuances and its local relevance.
Now, preservation is another paramount aspect. Beyond the extensive restorations we discussed earlier, the ongoing efforts to ensure Higeman remains in pristine condition. Modern technology is employed to monitor the castle's structure integrity, ensuring early detection of any type of potential issues.
Also, it is worth highlighting the dedication of countless artisans and experts who work behind the scenes. These individuals, skilled in ancient construction techniques, are the unsung heroes. They ensure that the restoration efforts and effects remain true to the castle's legends and original design and its essence.
Now, the exciting realm of visitation of Himeji Castle is well blended in history, architecture, and the spectral tales. Has evolved into a prime tourist destination. Its doors are always open to the world, inviting all those to partake in its left tapestry. Very rich.
Okay, Captain Kirk.
I got possessed by Shatner.
The visitors' experiences have been refined over the years. Accessibility enhancements cater to both national and international tourists, and comprehensive guided tours are available in multiple languages. These provide a deep dive into the castle's history, the architecture, and the legends.
Yes. Now, modern amenities like cafes, gift shops with exclusive Himeji memorabilia, merchandising, and interactive exhibits enhance the visitor experience. Additionally, the expansive, I should say, as well as expensive, with their meticulously maintained gardens, offer serene spots for the relaxation and reflection.
Now, what's particularly commendable is the balance struck between preservation and public accessibility. Visitors can explore the castle. I'm sorry, they can explore a majority of the castle. Certain areas, particularly those that are undergoing restoration, are usually, you know, blocked off. This ensures that the castle's integrity is maintained without significantly compromising the visitor experience.
In essence, the triad of ownership, preservation, and visitation intricately woven ensures that Himeji Castle remains a beacon of Japanese past while simultaneously engaging with the present and future.
And as our exploration of Himeji Castle does draw to a close, it does become evident that this architectural marvel is more than just a relic of the past. It is a living testament, breathing tales of valor, love, and tragedy, as well as endurance.
It's been journeying through time and witnessing the evolution of a fortress into an enduring symbol. As we reflect upon our adventure, there is a profound realization that Hijmen is more than just a stone and mortar. It's an anthology of the human experience.
Every tower, every pathway, and every whispering wind within its corridors does carry within its echoes the past. From Akamatsu Norimura's initial vision to Akita Terumasa's transformative endeavors, from the haunting tales of Ukiku to the dedicated preservation today. Himeji has been shaped by countless hands and countless hearts.
And while the history is rich and varied, the castle's present and future are equally compelling. Today, it stands as a bridge between ancient and the contemporary, while modern day visitors walk the same grounds as samurais once did, experiencing a blend of awe and reverence.
And again, what's really heartening about it is seeing the younger generation and them being able to experience the history and appreciate where this has all come from. Um, it shows that the story is ever revolving and it's currently continuously being written each day.
Now, the psychic perceptives, the sensory hauntings, and the tales of spectral occurrences add the mystique to Himeji. But it's beyond the allure of the paranormal. These stories reinforce the idea that the castle is teeming with life and emotions. Each legend, each sighting, each chilling whisper serves as a reminder that Himeji is a repository of souls, memories, and apparitions.
There is a deep seated optimism in Himeji's future. With the combined efforts of the government, local communities, historians, and visitors, it is a collective pledge to ensure that it remains standing, narrating its tales for centuries to come.
Now, dear listeners, remember that with places like Himeji Castle, the conclusion isn't the end, it's an invitation. As an invitation to visit, to experience, and to become part of the ever, never unfolding narrative. Because in its echoing silence of the talk, If you listen closely, you just might hear the castle whispering its tales, inviting you to take part of its timeless journey.
So, Richard, what are your thoughts? Do you believe it's haunted? What are your thoughts of its preservations and its the way that it's handled today?
Mm,
Discuss.
Cold spots could be, the fact that in shadows or near close water, uh, echoes of sounds of someone counting or whispering. That could be the fact that you may be hearing somebody far up ahead on the tour, maybe telling the tell themselves. I'm not too sure about that.
It would definitely be a place I would like to visit. I'll go ahead and add some photos to our gallery at our website, skepticpsychic.com. So if you want to check it out and see what it looks like, the beauty of it, the essence. But we do ask our listeners, what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments if you believe that it's haunted or if you've been to Himeji Castle and what your experiences were. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, we do ask that you like and subscribe and hit the notifications so you know when we have new episodes. Next week, we will come back this way and we will be talking about Castle Loma. So make sure you tune in for that one. Any thoughts or ideas or anything before we sign off for tonight?
No, not really, but we do know in 2 weeks we'll be having the ghosties and ghoulies go tromping in the night. We do want to let you know that as you go trick or treating with them, be sure to take the best candy from your kids.
Yes. And be careful from ongoing traffic. People drive crazy on Halloween night.
Hmm.
And with that, um, we will be having a new podcast coming out pretty soon.
We will.
Well, I will.
Okay.
I will be having a
This is the
new.
first thing I heard about that.
I told you about it earlier. That shows how much you listen to your sister.
No, you just talking about the fact that this was a separate. This was not a skeptic psychic podcast. This was something that you were doing on the on the low download. This is not a part of me. I'm not part of the host or anything like that. Forgive me.
I found that sounds a little butthurt to me.
Oh, no, no, no. Why would it sound like it's butthurt to you? Oh, for shame, for shame. The
As I
horror.
Yes, so keep your eyes out for Confessions of an ADHD Mind, where I will be talking about and discussing ADHD, especially being diagnosed later in life, or even if you don't know you have ADHD yet. So that will be a fun podcast coming out soon. We will have
Sure.
tips, we will have tricks, we will have hopefully interviews. And maybe Richard will come on to talk to us about his ADHD since he's feeling butthurt over here.
Oh, for shame. I should have put my head in shame, put a bag over it. No one will know my name.
Yes. With that, we wish you a very good night and sweet dreams, everybody.
And unpleasant nightmares.
Good night.
Good night.